All right, Peaches. Thursday before Nats. We got LCQ tomorrow, which you don't have to do. Look, it's my friends. It's the rest
Lang's got the pizzas in the oven.
Lang got the pizza!
Wait.
Chef Lang, bro, at your service. Chef Lang,
And
bro.
over here to everyone, we got all of the we got some testing going, some snackos, and we're getting ready for LCQ over here.
I got my LCQ on Saturday for Dragon Ball.
No, you don't.
I thought you had your invite.
I'm just playing it just for the fuck of it. Oh no, my bad. It's side events.
Side of it. Oh,
Yeah, side events. Sorry. I'm just doing.
Yo, welcome back, Wendy Warriors. I have our very own GFG Peaches. He played in Las Vegas not this last weekend, week before last, and the Bandai Fest. And today he's going to be sharing his deck list and his overall experience with the event. Today, Peaches, I did have a few questions for you, if that's okay.
Yep.
All right. How different was this Bandai Card Fest compared to Dallas?
I think the con was ran better. I think the tournament itself was pretty smooth. I think it was about the same as last time. I think the tournament was smooth, but the con was kind of like the biggest difference to me. Even though I was spending most of the time playing the tournament, the line situation and everything was better. I know there was like the whole thing where admission you couldn't get in at the door, unlike Dallas. But yeah, I mean, you know, Dallas was a bit of a fuck fest, so at least there were some improvements from last time.
That's good. No, yeah. And what deck did you play this past weekend?
I took Virus Imperial, Red Purple Imperial. I was gonna, I was kind of on the fence for a bit. I played in a case tournament over at HP, shout out. And I kind of got waxed. I went like X3 was five round event, so pretty bad. But it helped to reveal some like inconsistencies with things I was trying out. So even though it kind of discouraged me for a little bit, I still ended up going with it just because I felt like I fixed the ratios and it was very comfortable, rather than just kind of like going with something like Hudimon or Sakuyamon.
Okay, yeah, no, that makes sense. What do you attribute to your success?
I attribute a few things. Playtesting. Got a lot of good playtesting partners just right here at home. So we have good locals. Shout out to my locals. Shout out to my team, GFG. And also just like the experience that I have on the deck. There's not many players that probably have as much experience as me with Red Purple Imperial. I took it to Dallas, got 27th, and then after that, to get my invite, I took it to Riverside Regionals, and I got second over there. Went undefeated through 8 rounds, and then lost my last round to somebody who already had a loss, and then I got bubbled down to second. But overall, yeah, I just think like kind of experience, a lot of testing, good testing partners, and then just a little bit of luck.
Okay. How do you feel about the game?
The game in general, I think it's getting really fast. So I'm surprised something that's hasn't got support for a bit, like fighter mode's probably the last card it got. Just don't get me wrong, that's a hell of a fucking card, and that's honestly the one that kept me in most of the games. But
Is it Crimson Plays with a Body?
yes, it's nutty. But the game in general, yeah, it's just really speeding up. So, you really sometimes, like ordinarily, you got to take a turn or two to set up. But at the same time, sometimes you could just get lucky and just like just see all your pieces on turn 2 and then just kill your opponent, which is kind of crazy, but it happens.
Why did you bubble?
It's a good question. So I bubbled because, well, I mean, I lost 2 games. So I went X2 at Vegas. My 2 losses were one to Hudimon. I wasn't able to see fighter mode, and then my second loss was to Sakuyamon, which is so funny because it's like the 2 decks that I was considering playing instead of Virus Imperial.
Came back to haunt you a little bit.
A little bit, yeah, but like I'm still really like chill with my choice and my performance. So yeah, the decks that I played against, my opponent, you know, he was playing Hootie, like pure Hootie loop. He's seen his loop faster than I could shut off his ability to play with fighter. I actually didn't see fighter like the entire set versus that guy. Still took the L2-1, so it wasn't too bad, or 1-2. And then the Sakuyamon player, I just kind of misplayed. I left my Shadramon on board, and he put it to my security. And it was the only one I seen all game, so... And that was game 2. He kind of just high-rolled me game 1, and then game 2 I misplayed, so... You know, a little bit of bad RNG, not seeing the fighter, a little bit of poor play on my part against Sakuyamon. And then in the very end, I didn't make top 16, got 17th. And the last round, I was... Going into it, I was 18th. And then I won, I beat Medusa, but then... My tiebreakers, who were both playing in the top 16, they were like table 5 and table 2. They ended up losing their last round, and somehow I went from 18th place to just 17th place after a win. So that's why I'm the bubble boy.
Unfortunate. How can you get better at the Digimon TCG?
Maybe sell out a little bit and play like the best decks. And actually like get as good on those decks as I am on this deck. But it's never really been my style to just sell out. But you know, if you want to be the best, you kind of got to play the best. So I don't know, maybe just sell out, maybe continue to put the work in, get more testing in. Like I said, there wasn't much room for improvement besides like really small things here or there, like a decision that I made to leave the body out versus let it go to trash. So, you know, keep testing, keep getting better, get luckier, I guess, that too.
What 2 cards would you like to see on the upcoming ban list?
So for me, I think Hootimon. It just had too many spots. It's been too represented at a lot of the big events. It's already had some time to shine, so... I mean, like, ideally, there's other cards you could hit around Hootie to not, like, completely murder the deck, but I'm for the one, like, oh, hey, there's a problem, just fucking hit the problem. I know, like, Bandai's probably just gonna hit around it, which is okay, but if it becomes an issue again later, they're just gonna hit more cards around it when they could have just hit the problem in the first place. So Hootimon for sure, and then... It's hard to say. I don't think any of the TS stuff should get hit. It's too early for that. Maybe some of the Liberator stuff, some strong Liberator cards. Something like maybe Tumblemon. I know Tumble's pretty broken in rocks, the way it can just be reused over and over each level. Not once per turn. It's kind of broken.
Reduce, reuse, recycle.
Yeah, it's really good. Because like ordinarily DNA decks are the ones that like recycle the inherent effects. And that's like was specific something to being able to make 2 bodies to go into a DNA to reuse it, whereas this it's the same Digimon regaining the same gain memory by trashing the source. So I'd say Hootimon and Tumblemon for sure.
All right. And last question, what is GFG?
GFG, that's our team. We've been around for a bit. I know Gaia Force was pretty big kind of when we were getting started. But like we had already been playing for a while. We just weren't like, you know, we weren't as good as we are now. So we've definitely made improvements. We're Gale Force Gaming. If you guys haven't heard of us, we have YouTube. Everything's in the link. But yeah, we're GFG. I guess I'm captain. I guess it wasn't my decision. They voted me captain and they made me captain. But here we go. So for the deck profile, we'll just start from like eggs, rookies, and go up, and then we'll hit on the options and tamers. So the eggs, there's really, there's no debate. I think the Minomons are mandatory. They help you get cards to your trash, and they clear out the floodgates. Next up, we have rookies. We got the 4 of the main one. This is like the combo starter if you're
Problem Child.
Yeah, if you're a Digimon Yu-Gi-Oh player, it's the combo card of the deck. A mandatory 4 of. Most of the time, if you don't see this, you're probably going to lose. Then we got the other less loved Wormmon. But still, really important card. Retaliation is a good inheritable to have if you need it in a pinch. And then it helps you cycle cards, dig 3 in case you really need that last piece, and then also feels your trash. Then you have the Vmon. I also play 4 of the Vmon, plus 2k if you have a purple, and then pitch one of the pieces and then draw 2. This one I've actually found to be, like, if you have the right cards in your hand that you need to see in your trash, this one's always going to be the better option, especially because it allows you to draw into your other cards that aren't searchable, which can be really clutch because some of the cards that we play in here is kind of really important to kind of finish or keep pace with some of the faster decks. And then one more for the rookies, we have the Sala, because it just works as a 5th Wormmon sometimes. Same effect to digivolve into a free trait from trash. It costs 1 to go into the purple, but just a 5th Wormmon really, just because, again, sometimes if you don't see the Wormmon you lose, so why not just play a 5th one. Not searchable, by the way, by the worm, but it's okay. Next up, we have our champions. Probably the counterpart to that Wormmon that's mandatory to see is the Shadramon. Just like a tad bit less mandatory, but it's pretty much the same thing. Like, if you don't see this most of the time, you're not going to win. Free bodies from trash when you digivolve, and then free bodies from hand when you delete, or inheritable on delete. So busted card. A lot of times, if you got this in your source when you make a 5, you can combo up all the way to another level 6. Then we have 3 of, starting with the EX3 champions, the end phase DNA. Yeah, we just need to have the end phase DNA, the ability to DNA, and then cards that lets you DNA digivolve when you digivolve them. So this is one of them, and then the next one we have the Imperialdramon. We got 2 of those. Same thing, and we're just trying to get a balance of our colors here. So this is kind of why we do it like this with the other champions that we play, because we also play 2 of the XV, and then 1 of the Ginkaku promote. So to kind of balance out our colors a little bit, we have 4/4, and then we also want to have enough end phase DNA. So that's why we have the 3, the 2. So we have 5 end phase DNA. And then this one also comes up just for outing floodgates, and then as well as like the DP puff, and then being able to DNA. So this one, if you know your opponent plays things or their only way to out you is by like popping you, this one can be better sometimes, because then if you can force them to pop your body, when this one gets played, you just DNA again. Unlike these ones, when they get played, they just kind of sit out there. And then lastly, this Ginkaku, it's kind of a tech. I don't know if it's like really a mandatory card at all. As a matter of fact, I know it's not, but I decide to play this one for a few reasons. You know, if it survives Ruin Road, it can go over my level 4s for a cost of 1. So I can tuck that in phase inheritable if I want to, or if we have the Shadra, we can tuck that on deletion effect if I want to. Say these got played off of partition, go over that Shadra, get a swing in there, see if it dies, use my effects. If not, we try to kill it ourselves. Then let's go to the level 5s. We've got Dino B, 4 of BT16 Dino B. This is the main one. You do a lot of your damage on. Realistically, you try to do as much damage you can at 5, and then either finish them or floodgate them out on your 6s. And this is the main guy to do it. DNA, when DNA digivolving, you play a level 5 or lower free trait from trash, and then one of your Digimon may gain rush and attack. Next up, for the non-BT16 level 5s, 2 of the BT20 Paildras. This is the one that if you would be deleted all turns, you can DNA, and also on play when digivolving, get plus 4k piercing, and then this Digimon can attack. And then the security check plus 1's also good, but realistically, yeah, you want to go into this one to be able to do damage. Being able to give your Dino B plus 4k piercing is really big too, because this one has raid. So you give this one piercing, say the gauge passed over to your opponent's side of the turn, you swing with it, give it plus 4k piercing, raid into it, pierce, check in security, and then even if it dies, you can use this one to go up into your dragon. Then we have the one-ofs, the Imperialdramon. So from the EX3, this is the Pale that only plays Dino Bees. We play a high count of Dino Bees, so that's okay. And then it's kind of just like having another one of the BT16 Dino Bees. It's obviously not as good, but in a pinch, this can still get you to your fighter mode. So either if your opponent's at 1 security, you go to the fighter, you swing and kill them still because you trashed the last security, or you floodgate them out and hope they can't clap back. Either way, though, this card's still good and like mandatory at least at 1-of. Some people even play more, in my opinion. And then lastly, we have the 1-of Dino B from BT20. Just fetch you back your pieces, whichever one you need. It's really good to have some cycle. Obviously, we have Calling of Darkness because that's like the best card in purple. But this one also can be very important, not only for fetching back pieces, but also for turning off options. Sometimes if you're playing against Medusamon, they have have a high option count. When you go into these guys, bring back this Dino B, you DNA, this checks 2, and they can't resolve the Crimson Blaze. Then going up to our 6s, we have 3 of the EX3 dragons. I had played it for 4 for a bit, and then I dropped it to 3, just because, like I was saying, I try to do most of my damages on 5. So even if I have to go to 5, kill the stack, remake a stack, eventually I'll see dragons. So I'm not, and there's a lot of search and dig. You have a lot of setup. Most of the time you're going to run into a dragon even early if you don't want it. So I felt 3 was never too little. Then we have, to match that, the 3 fighter modes. The fighter mode, it's kind of the same thought process as the dragon mode. We want to do most of our damage on 5, but this dude kind of is the man. Low-key, if I was consider making some changes, I might add the 4th one in. Just because that game versus Hoodimon, I did miss it, that whole entire set, and I know if I seen it, I won that set. So maybe consider the 4th. I really wouldn't consider any other fighter mode either. I don't think the Ace or the BT12 one does enough in this meta. So yeah, if anything, I'd just say a fourth fighter mode. Then lastly, we do play one of the Ace because having this as a surprise factor can be really big if your opponent doesn't know what it does. Even if they do, you show it to them, they read it, and they're like, I still don't know what that does. What's fighter mode? Where is fighter mode? What's he gonna do to me? And I'm just like, well, now you have to think, how does this fucking Blast Ace thing work? Where's this fighter mode that he's gonna go into?
Which fighter mode is it gonna be?
Yeah, or they'll hit it off of security, or they'll see me search and not pick it, and they'll be like, oh fuck, does he have the Ace in the hand? Usually not. I mean, they only play 1, so if I'm searching it and you see it and I bot tag it, I don't have it for the rest of the game. But you might think I play multiple, so. It's always good to have the threat of Ace, even more so than actually resolving the Ace. Although sometimes this does win game, so don't sleep on this one. Then we go into our Tamers, just for Analog Youth. We're going pure consistency. We don't want a bunch of other pieces. We don't want any other Tamers. We don't want Daiken, none of that stuff. We just want just to max the consistency so we have high rolls as much as possible. We don't want our high rolls to be hard to hit. So we want to play with some loaded dice by playing the package of 4 Analog Youth and then 4 Missed Memory Boosts. I did a lot of testing with the other boost, the dual colored boost, Garnet or Magenta, whatever it is. Jade? I don't know. No, Jade's green. Missed Memory Boost.
Wrong Imperial.
Yeah, wrong Imperial, my bad. Missed Memory Boost is still, I think, the play. Especially because I'm playing so much of just pure Digimon, that a lot of times I'm going to see some piece that I can actually use. It's kind of the same thought process for the Analog Youth, but at the same time, since these are the 8 best cards that I want to start with, I just want to see them as much as possible. So I max out on both of them, and then I build the rest of the deck around that consistency. So, with saying that, I don't want many other cards in the deck, but there are some cards that you just have to play. So one of the cards you got to play is Calling of the Darkness. And then because I wanted to consistently be able to pop my stack, after I basically drew my whole deck, I wanted to see at least one other option that could potentially kill my stack. So I went with the Demonic Disaster. Kind of the same thing as the other 1-drop that lets you pop a level 4. like delete one of your Digimon, delete in level 4. It's pretty interchangeable, I'd say. I mean, the security effect to play level 3 from trash, it's kind of good. Sometimes being able to unsuspend comes up because you do have the 2 bodies that both swing out. So, you know, you could pop the stack that has sources and proc your analogs and unsuspend the dude who got rush, then swing again. Sometimes that comes up, but more often than not, I just want to use it to pop my fighter mode and just rebuild a stack and kill my opponent. But yeah, that's it. Like I said, as far as like changes I'd make, not much. The only thing I'd really consider maybe is like running another fighter mode. I don't know. Maybe the Genkaku could come out. Maybe I could drop a level 4 somewhere. But other than that, I really like the list. I like its consistency. I'm comfortable with it. So that's kind of why I went with it. And yeah, that's it.
All right. Well, again, thank you for the deck profile and the interview. And we'll be back with you guys shortly. This has been such a fun season. We here at GFG have thoroughly enjoyed grinding this format, and we're planning to be much more active in this community, as well as trying to expand further into the Bandai TCG universe. I also wanted to take this moment to thank our sponsors, W Energy, which using code GFG will unlock 10% on checkout, and our newest sponsor, AAA Card Games. They're a local vendor here in the Central Valley. Be sure to follow them on all social media platforms.